just go
I'll be
live.
away
And
from the screen for
hey,
now,
yeah,
but that's okay.
Hey, stream, we're live. It's what is it? Say it in your funny way, because I used your title, Kamui, the one to ignore the Shueisha algorithm, so we don't get copyright struck again. Well, now that
What
I'm
was
saying all
the
those words out loud,
what is this? What is the
it's in
specific title
pinned
again?
message. If you well, yeah, you can just check pinned messages since that's where you
Okay,
wrote it.
hold on.
But so yeah,
Okay,
please
one
say it
second.
in the funny way that you say it.
Oh, so today we're gonna be reacting to Burrito to Blue Vertex, Chapter 21.
Ignoring the burrito and the vertex, the way you say "too blue" is it's just so absurdly goofy to me.
Too
I
blue.
love it. It's like "too blue."
Well, yeah, I'm trying to overemphasize. Too blue.
So we're reacting to that. Not the official, but the not that version because reasons of which we've already said, of which I'm not going to say again in case the bot algorithm picks up on my transcript. Anyways, so we've got a lot of the yapping out of the way already from yesterday. So we've pretty much discussed everything that we need to. We can pretty much just go into it. But before that, two things to go over, and maybe three. But have you seen any new spoilers since we last talked about it? Well, okay. Well, maybe okay. The best way, yeah.
Think I really I wasn't really looking at anything, so I mainly saw pictures but ignored all context. Like, for example, I saw a picture of Ryu and I have no idea what it was. I saw a picture of Jura that I think is the last part of the
Okay.
chapter, but I have no idea what it said, and so on.
Interesting.
I think I saw a picture of Koji in the exact same
Low-key
pose as
spoilers,
before,
but
but I don't
okay.
know what he said. Like,
Sure. Well, if you're willing to reveal those spoilers, I'm going to spoil you on everything that I've seen that's new. So
sure.
I'm not going to directly spoil some things, but I'll say I'm pretty sure a character does die. I'm not going to say which one, but I'm going to say I'm pretty sure there's a character death.
Okay.
What
My guess then is gonna be Matsuri based off what I think I heard of Boruto one-shotting her.
Okay.
So that's my
Also,
guess.
this is the least spoiler thing ever, but I've confirmed I have seen Sarada in this chapter. So
Oh, yeah,
she
same,
is
I
in it.
saw
Okay. I also saw her using the Mangekyo.
Yeah, I also saw Kido have a title mentioning the Choku Tomoe. So I'm very excited to see what that's about.
Yeah. I have also seen more of her ability. So
I haven't.
I don't want to reveal anything. Plus, I don't even know what it is because Mello mentioned it, but he mentioned it offhandedly, so I just still don't know what it is because apparently he doesn't even know what it is, seemingly. But there's something else more to it than just the black hole, quote unquote, that we've already seen.
And something else from the levitation thing that we've discussed.
Maybe, I don't know. There is a physical thing that's there, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
I was reading your comment from
the
it's one of these. Spanish or Portuguese. I think it might be Portuguese based off some of his message. But he comments in my comment section, and I was reading it, and it was just translating in my head. But there was a couple words. There's a couple things he said. I wasn't like "des," for example. I'm like, unless I'm just forgetting something. I've never seen that in Spanish.
Well, the reason I keep posting those, by the way, I think it'd be hilariously fun for us to not Google Translate it, but try and decipher it based on both of our history with Spanish.
Yeah, it's fine because I already know. I already. I'll have to reread it, obviously, but I read through it, and most of it I remembered enough. So there was a couple words I was like, I don't quite. I remember the word, but I don't remember what it means. For example, but for the most part, I got a pretty good gist of it. So let me get to it.
And then the final thing I've seen, which is crazy, apparently, but I don't know if I saw this in terms of a spoiler, but I at least saw it. I saw Damon. So there might be a manga page of Damon, assuming that's in this chapter and wasn't a previous chapter, but I saw a picture of Damon somewhere. So
Interesting. Okay.
I hope to see
Hopefully
him.
Hopefully it's him wanting to fight someone.
Hopefully he's in here so it becomes automatic divine 10 out of 10. But we'll see.
And hopefully it's not just saying, oh, Kawaki, they're gonna find out.
Okay. So that being said, there's another thing to go. So first of all, I have my music set up to listen to. So whenever we start the chapter, I'll be listening to music, Boruto playlists on my phone with my other headphones. So I'm wearing 2 different sets of headphones. Starting at playlist number 201 out of 280. Starting on the Singularity of Fate theme. I also have food. The Christmas cookies are gone. I don't know what happened. I don't think I ate them all last month, so someone just ate them. I got keto chocolate. I got and keto, not keto maki, but keto chocolate.
That's what I heard.
Keto. Peanut butter, obviously. I have an Easter basket thing filled with all sorts of goodies. But yes, and I got the Dairy Queen Blizzard because that's my tradition of the cotton candy. I got the medium, and it's a lot smaller than it used to be from what I remember, but there's that. It's also in the freezer, so I have to actually go get that. So I'll do that in a minute. Okay. And while I'm gone, there's one more thing that I wanted to go over is you can choose one. Either the one thing you really hope the chapter does, or the one thing you hope it doesn't do. You can only list one, so whichever one you have more of a strong feeling of, whether it's what it does or what it doesn't do, whichever one you prefer more, whatever your strongest thing is. Okay, go.
That's kind of tough because I would argue, I mean, just to answer the question, I guess I'm going to give you the one that's just not gonna happen. And so the thing I hope it does do is Sage Mitsuki goes off. Nearly 0% chance of that. So I kind of feel hard pressed to even include that, but that would be the answer. Now, if I'm allowed to say things I don't want, see, that one's also tough because I won't, just to honor what you said. Like, the things I don't want are all happening. Pretty much guaranteed. I think.
Okay, I am back. Honest. I'm just going to leave the light on, even though I've said I wasn't going to do that in the past, just because this stream is extra cautious of being careful. We probably shouldn't react to it, but we're going to anyways. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, if we don't show anything...
So I'll leave face cam on, and we can
show a couple of key images, but don't show much of anything, like one image.
Yeah.
It's generally just put on whatever other thing.
So
were you able to hear what I just said?
No, I was getting my Dairy Queen thing, but so this is gonna be the filter that we're using to ignore copyright.
Did you want me to reiterate? Or?
Well, you don't have to, because I'm assuming I already have the idea of what it is.
I'll just be very vague. I didn't say the thing I don't want directly. So I said what I want. But what I said was basically the thing I want to happen will not happen, and it's Sage Mitsuki goes off and does well and equals Sarada, blah blah blah.
See, that's what I was assuming.
The things I don't want, I'm pretty sure all happen. So I'm more or less going into this chapter expecting to say a certain thing at the end. We'll see if it changes my mind. But I have something planned to say.
All right.
I'm expecting to take the chapter for what it is, but the whole chapter I'm expecting to not like it.
Okay. Well, you've already said a Mitsuki thing, and so I don't have to worry about that in mine. That wasn't going to be mine anyways, even if it's probably objectively the best answer. Mine is going to be the selfish one that's really specific that you've already known that I've said. I want Konohamaru to fight. So it's both, it's both what I want and what I don't want. I want him to fight, and I want him to not get instantly bodied / Boruto show up. I just need the fight. I need the cool build. I need Konohamaru to pop off. And show me something new, okay? I don't want to see the old, lame old fire style whatever. No, show me his new stuff. To be fair, they've already done some cool stuff with the Rasen barrier and the double cool big ball whatever he did against Monster. That was cool. Wasn't just normal Rasengan, but that's what I want. Both want and don't want.
I agree. Like, it's what I want too. It's just that, like, we already know it's not happening. That's the sad truth is all the things that we want. We just know they're not happening. And the things we, at least for me, like I said, I don't really want, I already know are happening. So it's like, we're kind of just, we're at a loss, and we're just going to have to hopefully take it, not just take it for what it is, but my hope is that all things considered, the chapter will be better than I expected. That's my hope.
Okay.
But I already know going into I'm gonna have a sour taste in my mouth because it's just like conceptually I don't want what I know or what I expect from it.
Well, okay. By the way, which version are we reading? Are we reading the? Oh my god! Are we reading? By the way, join the Discord if you want, and you don't have to deal with the filter. You can just watch on the share screen of like the actual chapters. There you go. Are we reading this version, or are we reading the Twitter version? So I do think this version's better.
The second one you said's gonna be formatted better, but that being said, let's just go ahead and figure it out earlier rather than later. Let's just see if the translations are the same. So you read the better looking one for now.
Okay.
And I'm going to see the Twitter version to see if the translation's the same on the first page. If it's word for word the same, we can just assume. But
okay. So again, this is just like literally a screen, like not a screen, like a literal physical picture of the physical copy they're uploading, but shout out to them, I guess. But so, I mean, feel free to look at it if you want. On the thing on the right, frequently recalled memories, standing there as a girl, earnestly awaiting to become Hokage.
Looks like it's all the same words from what I can tell.
Okay. Based on this, I'm gonna have to upload that Sarada video because and I need to do it like now because I went back and I looked at it. It was actually the 5th stream we ever did. It's the first like hour and a half, but like half of that was with you there, basically like going over it, but like without my analysis. It's like your reaction to the thing that I was reacting to, basically. But I need to definitely go back and do that now that this is a thing. So
I agree. It's a good time.
Yeah. For me, becoming Hokage is my dream. A Hokage like the 7th. For real? Sarada, you aim so high. Instead of chasing future dreams, all I want is to look for a boyfriend. Nothing wrong with taking it easy. And that's something I love about the next generation, or whatever. Nothing wrong with taking it easy. They actually get to do that. I do love that. So I am happy for that for Chocho. As much of a gag and a meme as it was in Naruto Gaiden, there is like a genuinity to it, which is really cool.
I mean, I personally like it anyway, because like you said, there is a genuinity to it, and it's one of the only bits of humor that this series has. So like, you know,
at least intentional humor.
Naruto Gaiden was some of its best with it though, when she's like looking for her dad, and it's like it's so obvious that it's comedy, but like it's fun. Like it's so stupid fun. Like I like it.
It is good. Again, for those that want to join the Discord, you get to actually like read the chapter alongside me and get to see my screen. So I'll just leave a link because I am going to do my face cam for some of it at least. So here's a link. Chocho says invisible. Hello, everyone. Hello. Yeah, Pirate King Luffy says, why could Studio Pierrot randomly confirm part 2 today? There's gotta be a reason. Maybe they started production. Yeah, was there also a reason that they announced those 4 Naruto episodes we never got? So why'd they announce it?
The same place. I was gonna say the same thing.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so reading the chapter.
Just because they announced it doesn't mean anything.
So we have Boruto. What I'm aiming for, Sarada, is to become a shinobi like your dad. You're gonna be Hokage, right? I'll play the support role and protect you well. I do love this, the fact that we're getting this flashback now. This is actually very good. Very symbolic as well for the timing. Going into chapter 101, by the way. The first chapter of the new 100. That's freaking cool. I do like it.
Well, I mean, as much as I want to agree with you, it's really just the the first chapter of the 20s because it's a new series called Two Blue Vortex.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is volume 4, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not volume 24.
I mean, you're not wrong. But are you just going to say it's coincidence Sarada awakened her Sharingan on what is the 100th chapter of the Boruto franchise?
Yeah, because she awakened on the 80th chapter, which has nothing to do with hundreds.
Okay, well that doesn't count.
Yes, it is. That's when she awakened.
Yeah. Anyways, I still think the 100th chapter should have been the Jogan reveal, as much as you hate the Jogan.
Oh, it would have been better than stupid Mangekyo Sharingan Sarada. I just don't. I don't like Sarada's Mangekyo conceptually at any point of the series.
Oh my gosh. Well,
her abilities can be super cool, but I just don't like the conceptual aspect of it.
Okay. At the top of the next page, we have Sarada blushing, and then we have more flashback. So is this flashback, or is this current day? Oh, wait, it can't be current day, obviously, because it has to be flashback. Okay, so this is flashback from her reacting to Boruto, I guess? But that's so... Yes, is this flashback for her reacting to Sumire?
No, it's her reacting to Boruto when she's talked about remember the Blue Eyes chapter when he says I'll be...
Yeah, but why is it at the top of this page when... It's so weird. Okay. Can't win. Oh my gosh. Well, we have more flashback here, so... It doesn't bother you at all? Whether Boruto is popular with girls or not, well, it certainly bothers me. And then...
I can't wait for the anime to adapt this scene as a flashback that never happened in the anime.
So we have a note here, including context from the past scene in Volume 5, because otherwise this is fragmented and doesn't make sense in English. Okay. To me, the Hokage is someone who thinks of everyone in the village like family. Shout out Naruto. I'm not gonna lie, this is just objectively good. And it's so sad to say that, because this is all previous stuff. It's just showing how much better what came before was.
No, it's not just previous stuff. It's all Kodachi stuff.
Was any of that redrawn, or do you think they just like copied it over?
Some of it's redrawn. The Sumire one might be basically copied. I think it might be slightly different, but the rest of it is redrawn.
Okay.
Well, actually, Boruto and his might not. Boruto might not be redrawn, but he also might be redrawn by facing the 180 degree, X.
Oh,
yeah. Flipped, whatever.
Technically.
He might be flipped, but...
Yeah, it depends if they actually flipped him or not, but either way.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they did, but he might be.
Yeah, so Sarada saying, I'm not an amazing shinobi. That's why. I can't waste my time thinking about pointless things. I've got to protect the future of everyone in the village in order to become a Hokage like Lord Seventh. Shout out Sarada. Her character was so good in the past. Then we have... Oh, Boruto getting the scar. Okay, wasn't expecting to see that in the flashback. That's cool to see that.
I don't want to see that again. The most disappointing scar reveal ever.
Whereas, yes, at least it happened. So, and it's focusing on Sarada seeing it. It's cool as well.
Couldn't care less. I'm gonna be a hater of this chapter. I'm just saying.
I can tell. Every single thing they've done. You're hating on the flashbacks.
I wasn't hating on the first couple of flashbacks that were Kodachi ones.
Oh, okay.
But at least I'm willing to admit when I'm being a hater and when I'm just actually... Because, yes, you're correct. There's nothing to actually critique here as far as this chapter goes.
Mm-hmm. How many more times are you gonna get in my way until you're satisfied?
That's a changed dialogue. He definitely did not word it that way the first time.
Oh, I don't.
But then again, I only remember the Viz translation. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we know how accurate that is. So. Okay, Shikamaru and Mitsuki. We are unable to discertain the whereabouts of the 7th Hokage. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe we do need to be hating now. It is highly probable that he has already been killed by Boruto. I have to go after him right away. Let me go, Sarada. I'm the one who will finish him off. Okay, go back to those.
Well, he gave up.
He did. I can't believe they're actually reminding us of that, too.
They're really pointing it in our face.
Then we get Sarada with Sasuke.
Okay. I'm just curious of your opinion. This is completely opinionated. I think I prefer, at least in the manga, part 1 Sage Mitsuki's look compared to part 2 Sage Mitsuki's look. Like in this panel, he looks really good. Just the part 1 one. He looks really good there. I think it's not like a huge difference, but it's just a small difference.
Yeah, and we've already commented on it, but his V-jump design looks amazing as well with the Slaves mode.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But not his two vertex.
Yeah. And so we got Sasuke here. It's understandable. Actually, this is the natural response. He seriously tried to kill Kawaki after all. Naruto and Hinata as well. This makes no sense. What the heck is going on? What's wrong with everyone? Okay. Ada is probably involved, shout out Sumire, with what's happening right now. Everyone became her captive. Just like that phenomenon. The same thing is probably happening to everyone right now. So obviously the flashbacks earlier made sense for Sarada's character. I feel like if they're showing this, they're going to get into omnipotence in this chapter.
I don't know about in this chapter, but soon.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
You know, which is exactly what I was telling you the other day. I need to make that omnipotence video. Why Sarada is immune.
I'm glad I made mine when I did. I'm glad I didn't wait any longer than I already did.
Why Sarada is immune doesn't necessarily have to do or debunk my theory, depending if they reveal it now or not. But it does at least slightly tie in. Even if it's not mentioned, it would at least obviously imply certain things, but...
Yeah. I mean, I still stand by the Ada desiring true friends thing. And for everyone, no, it's because they love Boruto. Like, just to reiterate, that can be indirectly true, because I think that's why Ada is interested in them in the first place, is because she thinks they can relate to each other. But that's as far as it goes. It's not that liking Boruto directly made them immune, in my opinion.
Even though I'm totally down for a whole love thing if they do it right, but I'll just say.
I'm not. It would be so inconsistent that it's just like, nah. It'd be dumb. Liking an Atsuki makes it. Get out of here. That nonsense.
Up until earlier, everyone was chasing after Kawaki, but now, before we knew it, everyone started targeting Boruto's life instead. This is something that would normally be unthinkable. An unnatural power is clearly at work here. A strong power, something like Shinjutsu. Ada did something to save Kawaki-kun from his predicament. I can't think of any other possibility than that. Too cruel! Why is it always Boruto? No way, this is too cruel! Ah! So, I hate to be a hater, but I kind of love it at the same time. So, do you think Ikimoto's doing this purely for symbolism or whatever? Or do you think he just didn't have enough time and needed like a minimum page count?
Well, actually,
because we're going on a lot here. There's a lot of
flashbacks. When I was looking at Twitter, it looks like there's less than 40 pages in this chapter.
Okay.
Despite the fact that most of it's flashbacks, which is actually kind of absurd.
Yeah. Well, so far, I agree.
You know, how many pages so far are we in?
Can I even
There's gonna be more Well, okay, I'm not gonna count the flashbacks that are new information, like the sneak peek, but
okay. I haven't seen that yet, but I know it's a thing. Okay, we're getting into it now. So
now scroll up then. Scroll up. Let's count pages real quick.
Well, go ahead.
Go start at the top.
I don't know how to do the thing you're saying, but if you want to count.
Okay, then go back. Okay. How have you been doing this whole time?
Okay. Oh, is this? Okay, we're on page 8.
You know what? I'll do it.
It's page 8. This is page 8. Chill out. Page 8. Okay. There you go. Okay. So we got Mangekyo on the right, which I'm assuming Is that still Flashback? Because Mangekyo Sharingan, this is part 1, Boruto
so. I think that's
it.
when she awakened it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Hard to tell, though, because Ikimoto doesn't like to depict flashbacks in a consistent way.
Yeah. It's a mutation of the Sharingan that Uchiha possess. Awakening is triggered when you receive an extreme mental or emotional shock. Kind of cool that Boruto didn't know, because Sarada obviously didn't know, but she like looked at it in the library that one time. At least that didn't even happen in the manga, so kind of did. But
at least they're directly confirming, the explanation with the Sharingan.
Yeah,
it's just extreme. The only thing that
and Boruto's ... Papa, Boruto didn't do anything wrong. It's unthinkable for him to attempt to kill the 7th. Everyone's being tricked. See, the thing is, even regardless of omnipotence, regardless of the top thing, which would go along with the bottom thing, it's just like, I couldn't have imagined Kawaki attempting to kill the 7th either. So, regardless of omnipotence.
Yeah.
Doesn't really change
Not only
anything.
that, let me finish this page before I say it, because, well, I'll mention it and it might be fine. But so far, I feel like Sasuke, I'm just gonna, realistically, when, I know like Sasuke said, I feel like this is something he would have just said in that conversation when they were sitting on those rocks in chapter 80. I understand that like he says a lot of other things that make sense at the time, and maybe there's trouble to fit room in this chapter, blah, 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 but like, this isn't something he would sit down with Boruto, say 1 week later. Like, he would have... It's just like Ada and Sarada talking chapter 1. They would have said that the first time.
I agree. Yeah.
Like, he would be saying that. Like, for example, he's like, I decided I believe in my daughter, blah, blah, blah.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
I feel like that would be a great time to explain... exactly. It's like, this would be a great time to explain what his daughter said and what he thinks about that.
Exactly. I completely agree.
Not only that, looking at what he's saying here, if we go back for a second.
Back? You mean up?
All of us are being tricked. That's what she told me. Oh, sorry. Go back.
Okay, so Dorba.
It's most likely the truth.
Okay.
Let's see what else he says. It's most
okay.
likely the truth.
To me, Sarada's bike. Okay, that's confirmed. He's talking about Sarada's bike. Okay, so Boruto does know that she's
was more than sufficient enough to serve as basis of belief. Okay.
So we have Uncle Sasuke. In order to stand against this situation, those eyes will become a great source of power. It seemed as though Sarada herself was unaware that she awakened. Okay. Well, that's something.
So at least so I guess you can kind of get away with the... Well, we'll see what Sarada herself says, because Yodo makes it seem like Sarada knew, but...
Yeah, so much for Sasuke's novel instinct fish thing, but whatever. But the time will undoubtedly come when she realizes the awakening has occurred, and she should come to understand it instinctively. Okay, well, there's that at least.
Yeah, so actually, real quick.
So why? What's the difference between this and later?
I don't know. That's a good point.
That's weird.
We'll get back to that, but assuming she didn't know... Sorry, I don't want to come across as biased when I get my answer, but thoughts on Yoda being the reason why she realized...
So I don't think... Okay. To say it like that is a little bit unfair. She didn't realize she has the Mangekyo because of Yodo. She realized her inner strength, which allowed her to use the Mangekyo, which now she instinctively understands she has because of Yodo. There is that middle stuff there that does make that an important distinction.
I agree. I still don't like it because it's Yodo.
I agree. Which is why we hope she dies.
So she can never do this again.
Yeah, I hope she hears the same bells that Elle was hearing. But anyway.
The bells of Jorah showing up and killing her. You know what? Honestly, if Jorah has to show up and kill someone, I hope it's Yoda.
I'm down. She's the only one that can't flee immediately, like Koji said.
No, I want them to flee. I want them to specifically leave her behind. Or he just specifically kills Yodo just for the hell of it. Just like, I don't like you.
Yeah. Okay, so we get... Okay, so this is an attack that Sage Mode Mitsuki got blitzed by. So when I scroll down, and Sarada dodges it just like Saraya,
counters it.
Let's find out.
Oh my god. Okay.
Not even phased.
Okay. I'm hoping these speed lines aren't indicating she's dodging it casually just by like stepping to the side. I hope it's the speed lines for the portal above that's sucking in the sand, which is what it seems to be.
Based off the third panel there, the bottom left, I'm kind of thinking that because it looks like it's flowing around her. But if you ignore the left panel, it looks like she's just casually dodging it, like Boruto dodging Walky's rods.
I know. That's so bad if that's what's happening.
I don't like that because she should not be passing this game.
Oh no. Okay, let's do this again. Join the Discord if you want to see the full share screen without the nonsense filter of me switching back to my face cam every now and then. But okay, so we get the portal. What is that black sphere? I love how Ryu was surprised, by the way, the second time he did it, not just the first. But Uchiha Sarada. It's her ability, huh? It's so okay. Did Sarada say her full name, or does Ryu just know her full name?
I think he just knew. I don't recall them saying her name.
I mean, that's kind of crazy.
They definitely said Sarada, but
I mean, to be fair, Itachi knew Sakura's last name somehow.
Yeah, I know.
So, whatever. But,
I mean, it's reasonable for Jura to have told them all,
I agree.
To be fair.
Yeah. Sar just standing there looking cool. Okay, bro. Mitsuki, take care of Araya and Yodo. Focus on protecting yourself. Sarada!
I don't like this. She's telling her, let me do this one-on-one. It's like, you stay out of my way.
Yeah, she would not be good with Team Mino Shikacho.
Well, sure, I would hate her. There's no teamwork going on there.
That being said, take care of Araya and Yodo. Does that tell me that Yodo's going to actually live when I think she's going to die? We'll find out.
I don't know whether I think she's going to live or die. I just hope she dies. Just I've had enough of her.
Okay. Don't worry. I just awaken this. Okay. She knows about the ability, at least. Does she know about the Mangekyo? But I already fundamentally understand what it is. Okay, I think that means she knows about the Mangekyo. So that does go with the instinct thing. It almost feels like this is in order as well. She awakened the ability, and then she understood fundamentally what it was after the fact. Rather than the other way around.
It's possible that she understood it at the exact same time.
I don't think so, but either way. I'm not tracking with the logic, but seems like all my iron sand is heading for that sphere. If that's the case, then... Is this coming... Okay, so he just has iron sand in the ground beneath him.
Yeah, seemingly.
Unless he just now put it like through his feet or whatever into the ground to like sneak up behind her or whatever.
Yeah.
That just means that he's been playing around the entire fight.
Regular sand into iron sand.
Oh, that'd be crazy too. But he's been playing around the whole fight. That just confirms it. He could have ended this fight at any moment if he wanted to. From the very get-go. Doesn't even matter about Araya's sword at that moment. That's crazy. Okay, so she looks down. So that's just a reaction feat right there. Also just 3 panels where the iron sand isn't doing anything. But as long as you're in the straight path to its orbit, it's not... Okay, that's actually so cool. So the iron sand is being sucked in the portal, but he's putting her in between the iron sand and the portal. That's so cool. That's so cool.
I like... Okay, that's really cool. But real quick, look at Ryu's eyes. He's doing that eyes behind his head thing.
I know. It's like, what does he do it? Oh my God.
But I do like his strategy.
It's so cool. I didn't even thought about that. Oh, it's being diverted again. But that portal is still open. So if another portal opened, then it should be sucked like in between both, unless this one's way closer.
Yeah, or bigger.
But either way, this one should still have gravitational suck. It should go like middle-ish instead.
I mean, you could argue that little point at the bottom right is that little bit going to go to the bottom right. Like, the bottom right of the sand. It's right by her leg. It's like it's pointing at her leg. No, okay, that works too, but also go to the iron sand. It's right by her hand. So it's possible that that's going into the other portal.
Okay. I'd be down. I like that. We got the sand going towards Ryu, around him even. What is this, QB chakra? Is this Naruto now? Also, I hate this. This is so funny. The iron sand low-key looks like Ada's hair. You see it? I totally see it.
That specifically at the bottom right part.
Yep. Okay, sand goes around.
Might want to put your I don't know what screen you're on as far as stream goes, but
I just switched it back to this just to show that. But and again, it's with this, so it should be fine.
But yeah,
I'm switching back and forth between face cam and normal, so it should be fine. Okay. In the opposite direction of the sphere, and it goes into the other sphere. Okay, yeah, so she just did make another sphere. But for some reason, this one just seems to have a way more suctional force. Since this one doesn't seem like it was way closer.
Really far away.
Exactly. It's crazy. So we got sand going in the sphere, and she just looks...
So I do have a question, which I'm sure it'll elaborate, but
Ryu looks going. So
it's not pulling in Ryu himself.
Or Sarada or anyone else.
Exactly. So far, it seems like it's only affecting either inanimate objects or specifically metallic-related things. So inanimate objects would be similar to like Ishiki stuff. However, the problem is it's not sucking away people's clothes either. So that's why I'm thinking metallic stuff. But Code's claw marks have iron in his blood. So I mean, is that the point? Like iron in everyone's blood.
Okay.
I'm not really sure there, but
that'd be hilarious if it's specifically just a counter to iron sand, nothing else.
Yeah,
useless.
Is she specifically targeting only the iron sand? If so, that's pretty stupid of her. Target Ryu too while you're at it, but
I mean, whatever works. Okay, so now we got multiple. We got 4. Oh, also we got more claw grimes. Did he just suck claw grimes out of him just now, or were they just here the whole time off screen? Because I thought that they defeated them all.
There was some on an earlier page.
And an earlier page this chapter? I don't think so.
Yeah, there was.
Where?
I don't know which specific page, but there was some.
I mean, I'm looking. I don't see any this chapter. Are you sure?
Go find it. Okay, literally, okay. So the one where she tells Mitsuki to focus on protecting herself, the top left panel, there's 3 claw grimes with Ryu.
Okay, you're right. Okay. So, moving on, there's 4. There are at least 4 spheres. Okay, so I'm guessing that there's going to be able to be 8 total, since I think that's the amount of triangles in her eye, which is going to be very similar to the spokes of the, what are we calling it now? The what is it? The Kuroga. Yeah, that thing. God.
No, it's not black. Shiny gold.
Is that what Neji was referring to when he said black eyes?
God, I scrolled ahead slightly.
Okay, well, we got Sarada with her earrings, and Ryu jumps. Okay. My body
didn't jump.
Oh, he didn't jump. No, he didn't. Okay, so it is sucking in. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy if that just ended the fight, but I'm guessing not. Oh, Sarada's being sucked in too. Or at least jumping. I'm probably being sucked in. I'm assuming.
Levitating.
Levitating would be crazy. But let's find out. Okay, so she's basically doing to Ryu what Ryu did to her earlier, just controlling his body. That's kind of crazy. So, okay. Dang it. What's going on? He's floating. ... It's kind of funny they just didn't translate this, even though obviously they wouldn't, but I died laughing. It was like a horizontal ... to translate the vertical ... I see. So this is... Kind of crazy that Mitsuki just knows, by the way. Like, Boruto didn't know. Yeah. I don't even know if he even knew what a Mangekyo was. Mitsuki just not only knows, but knows everything about it, apparently. Gravity. Okay, so Ryu's doing his thing. And it's coming out of the ground. Oh, no, he's tethering himself to the ground? It's kind of cool. He's, like, anchoring himself. Assuming that's what's happening, because going in chronological order, I think he's not doing that.
Hey, so far, Ryu's my MVP of this chapter.
That sphere is likely generating gravity. Okay, well, this, that feels like it's just a recap at this point. Ryu and his iron sand, as well as Sarada herself, are all being affected by it. But is Sarada, like, choosing to be affected by it? Because all the others aren't affected by it.
Yeah, I think she is choosing.
Okay. Me and Araya, as well as the surrounding life forms, remain unaffected by the gravity. Interesting he's saying surrounding life forms. Obviously, you're referring to the claw grimes. He's referring to claw grimes as life forms. What do you think about that?
Well, Temptails is alive, so yeah.
I mean, okay.
Makes sense.
Sure. She's choosing it. Sarada is choosing the target. And Ryu's being, I guess, kind of sucked into the orb. This power is, my body is being sucked in by that sphere. So also another limitation, maybe she can only suck in small things, like obviously grains of sand are obviously small enough, but maybe something like as big as the portal itself. So she can only suck in like bowling ball sized things. So that's why Ryu isn't going to be sucked in, is my guess.
Maybe, but she is affecting him, so yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like that's completely fine to be affected, but not to be actually sucked in. But I don't really find out.
I mean, then again, though, real quick, I don't know that the
survive.
size of the portal necessarily matters, just based off Obito's Kamui. Like, he sucks them into his eyeballs. So.
Yes, but that, like, warps in. It's a little bit different. It has the little spiral thing. It, like, changes space-time. My goal of becoming the Hokage.
The size of the portal doesn't necessarily mean the size of the object that she did.
Okay. My goal of becoming the Hokage felt so far away, so I became impatient. For every calamity that incurred, I was always unable to do anything. Mitsuki just looking. I didn't want to admit that. I was actually powerless. I was scared to face that reality, so I turned away from it. Okay, we're getting some Sarada lore here. And then we got Sumire. Perez's feelings, the unrest. So she's just still calling her class rep, by the way. Not Sumire.
Even Sumire got upset.
Even now. That's hilarious, bro. What I really thought about Boruto.
Care about Sumire.
No. Oh, what does she think about Boruto? I thought all that was just weakness. So I denied it? Okay, I don't like that. Hang on. Perez's feelings, the unrest in my heart, what I really thought about Boruto, I thought all that was just weakness. So let's just break this down one by one. So Kamui.
Feelings were weakness?
Yeah, she thought the Perez's feelings were weakness, and she thought her true thoughts about Boruto was a weakness. I love the Perez's feelings one. She just thought Sumire's feelings were a weakness. That's the craziest one. The unrest in my heart. That's the one that I guess can see, but the other two are just dissing on Sumire and Boruto. Not really Boruto, but
especially. So. Well, I mean, I can understand her feelings for Boruto being a weakness, even though, like, if she just listened, if she was paying attention to Naruto's words and Naruto guidance, she should realize that that should be a strength. But ignoring that.
Exactly, yeah.
The Prez's feeling.
Okay, that's probably my favorite panel just based on how hilarious it is so far. Like, what?
She does not like somebody.
Yeah. I also knew I was denying this power I kept hidden. So you could say this power...
Like she knew.
You can say that, you can say that, but... I think when she says this power, she's not specifically referring to the Mangekyo, even though that's what it happened to turn out to be. I think she's referring to her inner strength that led to the Mangekyo, rather than referring to the Mangekyo itself.
Whereas, sure. It's just going in the wrong direction.
Okay. Wow. Sarada, quit your babbling! And he does the Iron Sand. I'm just gonna guess it's gonna get sucked up.
This emo girl talk.
Okay, hang on. They have like a note. They have a note about it down here.
Yeah. So the thing. Okay, you read what that word is. I don't know what the Japanese word is, but.
Oh. Manhara?
Is a Japanese word for someone who has darkness in their heart, is mentally unstable, or a woman who becomes obsessed with their partner in a romantic relationship.
Okay, I think that last one is the connotation that at least Ikimoto's going for, even though obviously Ryu wouldn't know that.
Well, even then, though, that all three are funny. So darkness in her heart, that's just definitely not Sarada. The second, the unstable is hilarious, and then obsessed with Bort. I mean, I didn't realize that's like. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong, but like, I didn't realize that Ikimoto was going for Sarada being obsessed.
I mean, I think it's a pretty natural follow-up from the code arc with the obsessive love there, so I'm down.
Yeah, I mean, it works with the way Ada, Code, Kawaki, Amado, Matsuri, and all them. I mean, it works. I just didn't realize that Sarada was obsessed.
You know what?
I thought it was genuine.
You know what? She wasn't obsessed. I blame Yodo.
Yodo made her obsessed.
Yeah. Okay, so Ryu's going crazy over here. So Ryu's... so it's a big orb now, by the way.
It's a giant portal.
Yeah.
I think.
So I don't know how Ryu gets out of this. He's like sweating and everything. Look at his nostrils. Like, it's freaking crazy, bro.
Why are they drawing that?
Nostrils are bigger than his pupils. Oh, he's not being absorbed. This is like a planetary devastation.
I was saying, it looks like a true secret.
Wait. Low key, unironically, what if that just is what her Mangekyo? What if it just is planetary devastation? Just actually is. That just is the black orb that Nagato made.
But like a portal instead of an orb. I don't know, but very similar. Yeah.
Ugh. Gah. The pulling force.
Yeah.
It
that's
keeps
a new translation.
It keeps getting stronger. I won't turn away anymore. And Ryu looks. Okay, so she's gonna stop denying her feelings. I can't wait for her next conversation with Sumire. If you run away from yourself, you can't confront the truths in front of you. Plural for truth. You can't save a single person. Okay, so is this gonna imply that Yodo's alive or dead? I still don't know. You can go either way. I have a feeling they're just going to pull another Enogene at this point, though. I don't know. No, another Gah. And, oh, he's using a Claw Grime. Is that how he's going to get away? Or, oh, there's Jura. Is he going back to the Claw dimension? Yeah, he is, because that's his fingers. Okay. Is he trying to tell Jura something? What's happening here? This is crazy. Jura looks. Is Jura going to do something? Is Jura going to be like Jigen and betray Ryu like he did Deepa? That would be crazy. I am unable to lift a single finger.
I don't think so. He didn't betray Hidari.
I mean, you're not wrong, but let's find out. Becoming Hokage is my dream, so first I've got to start with accepting myself. Oh, her eye is bleeding. Okay, I called it. That's going on my bingo card.
Good.
But only one of her eyes, interestingly, even though she's using both of them. So that's unlike Sasuke. I don't think we've ever seen this.
No, we have, kind of.
When they both used it?
Usually the other eyes, usually they close, like Itachi closes.
Well, yeah, but that's not using both eyes then.
No, like, for example, when he closes one eye to charge it up, then he opens it, and both eyes will be Mangekyo, but he's only using Amaterasu in one eye.
Exactly. So I'm pretty sure, anyway, she's using both eyes. I guess, that's fair. That's fair. I'd be down. I'd be down for that. That means she just has another ability. Or unless she is using both abilities, there's one to make the portal and another to control the portal. Similar to Sasuke's with making and controlling the Amaterasu.
Maybe, yeah.
I've got to start with accepting myself. Becoming Hokage dreams. First I gotta start. I like how she says, I've gotta start with... like, that implies that she hasn't yet, even though she's been saying for the past, 5 pages that she's started accepting herself or whatever. She's gotta start doing it. Okay, so here's what I was looking at. The black triangles. This is a spoiler that I saw that Mello mentioned. So the something that wasn't just the portal was the black triangles that I was referencing earlier when I said I got a spoiler at the beginning of the stream. But now I'm wondering if those are actually the black triangles or not, in reality. Or Ohirume. Okay, I did see this word, but I didn't realize it was a spoiler. I thought they were saying... I don't know. I mean, I can look it up.
Yeah, look it up. What's that mean? It's probably the name of the ability.
Oh, no, it is the name of the ability. Orihume. Because I thought they were saying the Bleach character, but spelling it wrong. It doesn't have a Japanese word, by the way. By the way, I love this. Is so hilarious at the bottom. Epic drawing by Ikimoto. Okay, bro. By the way, I'm listening to Kawaki's theme on my phone right now. This feels like a very Kawaki face and pose and all that. Like the Ansai view and everything with her overwhelming power in the background. It's kind of cool. But that being said, I don't know if these black triangles are actually here or if this is just like a representation of her eye itself because of these and the fact that she's in the middle, like she is the pupil. Like it might just be a metaphor, technically, but
yeah,
we'll see if they stay there. Yeah, based on this, I'm guessing it wasn't actually. It's so weird. She's like wrapping the portal around. What the heck? Is this Kawaki's portal? Like, I can't tell. But
that's a psycho dead.
Yeah. Okay, so I know it's 11:30, and you said 12 at the latest. You're good to keep going?
We can keep going for now. I was trying to figure out what I'm doing about food because I didn't
remember
that I ran out of salmon, so a little bit annoying.
With that being said, would you mind if I went to the bathroom real quick?
You can, but I don't have anything to say in the meantime.
Well, I'll pull up chat. Okay, I pulled it up. I'll be right back. I'll be quick, I promise.
I'm not looking at chat. I'm trying to figure out what I'm eating. Oh my god, this is so stupid. Not even around anything. Figure this out. Alright, I'll look at chat. It takes freaking 5 minutes. I can't believe how much this title's working for us. I'm going to talk about the anime. Naruto Gun was peak comedy. It was pretty good. They scrapped the 4 episodes in order to reanimate them to look better because they're apparently terrible. I mean, that's not exactly what they said, but that's probably what they meant. The fight could have at least been epic. Villains getting one shot in seconds is dumb, says Orochimaru PR. Hurricane Luffy says Ikimoto too lazy. Quan says, bro, can we move on? Now, I don't know when he said that. For reference. But we could have moved on if Oodie didn't go to the bathroom. I was calling Ikimoto. Oodie didn't go to the bathroom. Okay, the only thing I can do here without just being silent is gonna be literally reading the chapter. So Ryu screaming, the Ryu definitely feels pain, by the way. For anyone wondering. Her eyes are really okay. Well, you can't see what I'm looking at, but like I'm seeing like these like squiggles thingies that kind of look like a solar system, looking Saturn, Jupiter, whatever thing. Kind of reminds me of Ada Senrigan on the casting across the world to some extent. It's kind of like the image of Urashiki's omnipotence. Shout out Mr. Mayhem. And
okay. Much better.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, you can read the 1-2 pages I read. Because I ran out of things to do.
I did not want to keep holding it. So, okay.
But it reminds me of it.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think it wasn't just that one portal. It looks like the other 3 portals also grew in size behind her. But weird that like she's not using them unless she's using them to levitate or something. It'd be cool. Like we got an explanation for what they do.
We don't know exactly. Yeah, I want to know how that patient works.
Also, I think I was right. I think Mello is just wrong. There just are no black triangles. I think that was just a metaphor for like her eye.
Yeah.
Because unless it's
wouldn't be the first time.
Unless it's just the image itself looking like this. I think it is. I think it's just the image itself looking like this because of you can see in the background the next page hilariously. But it looks like kind of reflective, as if you're looking into her eye. But either way. So it looks like she just destroyed Ryu here, by the way. I don't know what the, like, some weird implosion.
I don't know what happened. I'll be able to keep scrolling. But I'm just looking. It looks like he was like turned to dust, like Hidari.
Yeah. They're also very high up in the air now. So, destroyed. Also, no Soulthorn, but we'll see that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, because Hidari's had to reconstitute, to be fair.
True. So, Sarada's looking, her eyes bleeding, she's looking down,
looks like she's
up
fainting.
again. Oh, yeah, okay. Low-key reminding me of Boroshiki's first appearance.
Borushiki, yes.
Boro.
And wasn't Mitsuki the one who saved Borushiki there? Because he just saved her here.
The parallels.
Sarada.
Okay, the Soul Thorn reconstituted, I looked at.
Okay. Well, there it is. So they're gonna have to like get that pretty quick, before it rots.
Shows up.
And to think they're in the desert heat, it has little time.
Yeah, it's gonna rot. Okay, low key, I want it to be sitting around for like a while, like noticeably longer than Hidari's, and I don't want a single character to mention it rotting, just to put shame on the rotting thing. Alternatively, I want the rotting to be relevant, and I want it to rot pretty quickly, so as to justify Jura somewhat.
Yeah. So, do you think this is what Mello used to justify Sarada over Jura?
I don't really know how this puts her over Jura, but Jura's clearly stronger than the other. So,
well, what's Jura gonna do? Jura's just gonna get sucked up into the orb. But
yeah, but Jura's also gonna shoot laser beams at her eyes. It's gonna do other things.
Yeah. So obviously she destroyed Ryu pretty easily here. But similar to Borushiki, she did not have a lot of endurance or stamina. I wonder if she still has those stamina issues in her Sharingan from part 1.
Who knows?
Mello's gonna hate hearing that.
Gonna have any blindness symptoms too. Because this is very OP, so it's one of those things where she uses it very sparingly, kind of like Itachi, although Itachi starts to just use it anyway because he's like, screw it, I'm dying, this is my plan, blah, blah, blah. But if she uses it very sparingly because of blindness and whatnot, okay, this thing's OP, but there you go. She can't use it often. She's got to be sparing with it. But if she's using it willy-nilly like Obito, then we got to do something.
Yeah. The thing is, based on her explanation, I don't think she's going to be just sparing with it. She's like, I have to accept myself and go full force. So she's going to start with this every fight.
The whole point is that she's not going to be doing what she's been doing. So
exactly. She's not going to use it as a last resort trump card. That's basically what she learned to. But
from Yodo.
Okay. Just now, Ryu was defeated with the help of Sarada-chan's new power. Boruto looks? Why does Boruto look? Can Boruto hear Ada right now? Speaking of...
Oh, he's either...
Is he reacting to Kashin Koji's face?
That's what I'm guessing. Kashin Koji, hasn't spoken yet, but I don't know. That's still weird though, because I
agree.
Again, the order should be reversed if you're going that route. You should have Koji blink or something. Because as of right, unless the toad is just speaking out loud, but that's not what Koji's doing. He's just listening through the toad on Ada. So
yeah,
why is Boruto reacting?
Speaking of, how can Koji listen through the toad? Is that a Walky Talky chakra thing? But does it just transmit into his mind? Is it mind transfer jutsu, mind transmission? What's happening?
I think it's going to be something akin to Orochimaru watching from inside Anko via the curse mark. It's just like a piece of his consciousness is there because but it's weird though because his chakra controls it. But then again, that's what Pain does. So he basically has Pain's jutsu without having Pain's jutsu for some unexplained reason. But
to be fair, I guess I can be okay with it because Mitsuki talks to that snake to talk to Orochimaru.
Yeah, somehow, however that works.
Yeah. Likewise, it feels like Orochimaru talks to Mitsuki through the snake without the snake saying anything.
Exactly. The snake doesn't say anything, but they just like it's like the snake is the telephone, but they're not hearing anything, so I don't really know how they're receiving the information.
Yeah.
It's really weird. I don't know how their snake phone jutsu works. Okay. If there's a jutsu I want a Boruto data book explanation on right now, it's the snake phone jutsu.
Yeah, screw Sarada's Mangekyo.
Yeah, I want to know how the phone works. It's cool. It's the closest we're going to get to Orochimaru at this rate.
Yeah. Okay, so before reading on, so do we think that the reason Boruto's going to show up is specifically to take the Soul Thorn and leave? Because he wants to go free Shinki as soon as possible because he doesn't want the Shinju around.
Makes sense. But we know that he apparently one-shots Matsuri.
I know. Well, apparently.
So
I don't know if that is
that.
the case. Well, if that is true, then I want it to be, again, the cold, cowless thing, to where he doesn't even like Sarada looks at him and is like, Boruto. It's going to be like Sasuke in the Forest of Death. Not even. It's going to be like Sasuke at 5 Kage Summit when he's killing Kari, and Kari's like looking up at him. And then Sasuke's just like cold, like, see ya. Like, maybe he doesn't even like address them. He just takes the Soul Thorn, like maybe even scowls at Team 7 and just teleports away or something. I want him to only show up for the Soul Thorn. Not to assist them.
Encountering Matsuri for some reason. I mean, it could be interesting to say, like, hypothetically, he learns through Koji and Ada that Sarada's team won, whereas Konohamaru is losing. So he goes to save Konohamaru just out of emotion or whatever. That could be interesting. Because he thought this doesn't seem like there's any reason to save. Granted, though, Sarada would have been the one that he would have wanted to save, but it doesn't seem like there's any reason to. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
So she awakened it successfully. So I also think part of the reason that Koji didn't let Boruto go is because Koji wanted her to awaken it, and this was the only way for that to happen. Or at least as soon as possible.
Yeah, so it's like a risk that it was worth taking.
Yeah. Because I'm assuming it's going to be necessary for the future. One of the most important outcomes of this battle was having her accomplish that feat. Okay, so just literally confirmed what I just said.
Although, even Ada's looking at him pretty sus.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Ada's looking and then Boruto's looking back at her, like the paneling. That's pretty cool. I wish Ada's face was slightly lower so they were more directly looking at one another, but still cool paneling. The fact that they're also doing this, like, almost in reaction to Koji, as if they're questioning, Ada, are you buying this?
Exactly, that's what I said. It feels like she's also wondering, but...
Boruto, I can't believe
real quick.
Yeah. So, okay. We're getting to the part of the chapter that I want to see now.
Top right panel. It looks like Matsuru's hugging him.
This is the part of the chapter I want to see. Also, it's not looking good for my boy Konohamaru, I'm not gonna lie.
I know. I don't see Monkey King Enra.
By the way, this text on the right just says nothing important. It says the same, like, nonsense of, oh, it's Kishimoto, Ikimoto, thank you, or whatever. The same stuff there.
Okay.
So, yeah. Kind of funny how she's just floating. I think she's floating because she's, like, anchored into Konohamaru holding herself up, not because she can just fly.
Yeah.
How dare you trick me, you scumbag. I won't forgive you. I'm so hyped. This is what I've been waiting for all month.
Yeah. Scumbag.
I'm so hyped.
I was waiting for this part of the chapter, but unfortunately, I don't know what page we're on, but I think we have less than half the chapter, that's for sure.
Oh, we have a kunai. It is going to be Boruto, but who threw the kunai?
Boruto.
Was it Mitsuki? Well, it can't be Boruto because he's going to teleport to the kunai, right? Unless he teleported to Sarada first. That was a kunai. Boruto's there because
Unless
Boruto didn't throw it from Koji's base.
Oh no, because hypothetically, what if he just had like a kunai there the whole time for whatever reason?
Okay, he did not have a kunai on Matsuri's right shoulder that she's now noticing for the first time this whole time. She's not
no. Like the kunai was like on one of those like sand pillar things, for example.
So okay,
like,
you're saying
when
Boruto
Koji found him in that flashback when he was running away from Sand Ninja. Let's just say that's the exact same spot as this. Boruto hadn't learned Flying Raijin yet. Never mind.
So are you saying that Boruto had the kunai there? Well, like had the kunai somewhere, teleported the kunai, and then threw the kunai at Matsuri. Yes. I don't think that's what happened. Well, I think someone, because I think Boruto, I think this is the first time Boruto appeared. I think this is him flying Raijin here.
Who? But he's not flying Raijin to the kunai, that's for sure. Or the shuriken.
I mean, we know he can flying Raijin from a distance.
Yeah, but he's like 15 meters away or whatever.
I think that's fine. I think that's basically the same distance from the code thing from like chapter 5 or whatever.
No, it's not. It was like 1 meter at most.
No, it wasn't. You need to go back and look at that. It was
right next to him.
You need to go back and look at that. It was not.
It wasn't this far away. It was not this far away.
Also, Minato flying Raijin like a good 5 plus, maybe even 10 feet away from one of his kunais against Obito one time.
This is more than that. I mean, to be fair,
You said 50.
Boruto's slash Koji's explanation in that flashback explaining flying Raijin, blah blah blah. The farther away he is, so cross dimensions, whatever. Well, actually, it's probably not cross dimensions, but the farther away he is, the less accurate it is, the more he gets away from it. Whatever. The only problem with that though is Tento's dimension is across dimensions. This was probably on the same. I doubt Orochimaru had an interdimensional hideout. Probably was on Earth somewhere. So why is this one further away than the code one?
Look, I'm just saying, if Boruto's going to flying Raijin here, the odds
I hope Kira shows up and kills him.
Okay, if anything, it's not a one shot then, because if anything, Boruto just did one shot, so it's going to be a 2 shot at most, or at least. But come on, you think Boruto flying Raijin has this one opportunity, God-gifted opportunity to catch her off guard for any ability he wants? He's gonna throw a kunai to let her know he's there?
Well, I could say that for Sage Mitsuki or whoever threw the kunai. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna throw a shuriken at Matsuri instead of like, I don't know, your Sage things and the shuriken.
Listen, I feel like they just knew Boruto was gonna come up and they threw that shuriken. I don't know.
But that's so stupid.
I think it's stupid either way.
I don't even know how his ability works.
Yeah. I don't know. They could sense the chakra. They could feel him in the subspace teleporting there.
We're gonna see.
Okay, let's find out.
If it's revealed that Sarada threw it, whatever, but like they don't actually know how his flying Raijin works yet. They haven't been told.
Ridiculous. Either way, but okay, it does look like Boruto threw it here. I'm not gonna lie.
It's either that Mitsuki threw it because of this line, or Boruto did through it. Although that being said, Mitsuki was just saying this. I don't think he actually knew that it was.
Wait, hang on. No, because look at what he's holding. Look at the thing he's holding, and then this. So Mitsuki threw it. First of all, Mitsuki did throw it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this was I thought this, I was going to comment on this, I forgot to. I thought it was either a speck on the piece of, like, the physical manga, like a piece of coffee stain or something that the person who owns it, like, dropped on accident. Or that it was going to be some weird, like, thing in the far distance, like an airplane or a helicopter or the sky or something. Like, far in the background.
Okay, but just to clarify, that means Boruto did throw the shuriken, probably.
You're right, I agree.
You did the other thing.
So and again, based on this, it does look like he threw it. But I'm sure you agree.
Might have thrown that other thing.
Whereas, yes, you can say it looks like he threw it based on this. This definitely looks like a flying Raijin pose for sure.
I mean, I agree, but
okay.
I just don't think Mitsuki threw that shuriken into Matsuri's arm. But
I mean, this is, to be fair, even though it looks like he threw it and he did throw it, it's ridiculous to be in this pose to throw it. Like, imagine throwing a multiple shuriken. You have to go back up and then go back into position every single time. It would look ridiculous.
I mean, Sasuke and Itachi were pretty hunched over when they threw like their 50,000 shuriken.
Okay.
Maybe this is the ultimate shuriken pose.
Well, I think it's your way to throw the shuriken the hardest. That being said, to be fair, this is his teleporting shuriken. I'm confident he didn't throw it there to, like, hurt Matsuri. It's there to stick into Matsuri so he can teleport to Matsuri.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's going to be a thing, but...
yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so...
There's that other thing. Okay, yeah. Right above Mitsuki gives us a...
Yeah, I just saw that too,
yeah.
Looks like a
breast
fish.
cancer awareness symbol. It also looks like bunny ears, like Itachi's bunny ears things.
Hilarious. Super Bunny Man!
Easter!
Boruto! Destroyed. Alright. Well. What did he do?
Slice her in half. But also
but no. That's not how slicing... She exploded. That's not how slicing someone in half looks. You know what Boruto did slice in half? The claw grimes in chapter 2. She did not get sliced in half here. She exploded from Boruto's sword for some reason.
I mean, he could have done like 50 sword slashes really fast. The only problem is that's not what's being depicted in the drawing.
Exactly.
The drawing's depicting one slash.
And I already thought about that because they literally did do that in Dragon Ball. And so, unless that's just what he's referencing, but he's just drawing it wrong. I don't know. Also, she obviously wasn't destroyed here. Where's the Soul Thorn? It doesn't need to reconstitute itself.
I don't know how the Soul Thorn thing works, because we've only seen it do the reconstitution thing, so maybe it still will.
Either way, Jura's not here. Oh, real quick, I do want to say it'd be so funny if Boruto killed her so quickly, she wasn't able to sense Boruto. Therefore, Jura would have no idea. But I think clearly she was able to sense Boruto.
Yeah, clearly she sensed him.
Well, no, she didn't sense Boruto. She sensed Boru. Jura's like, who's that?
Real quick, looking at Koji's dialogue. His dialogue, okay.
Yeah.
I will say, it's possible that he is still lying, but he wanted Konohamaru to die because of blah, 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 blah. But his dialogue makes it feel like he does believe Jura will show up. But possible he's referring to something else. But
he says all our efforts. And so I think it has to be Boruto dying because him showing up doesn't negate Sarada's Mangekyo awakening. That's still an effort.
Exactly.
So it's got to be Boruto dying.
But like he needs Boruto to not die.
Yeah.
What does that side text say, by the way?
Let's find out. Boruto relentlessly cuts through the future. Okay, well, apparently Matsuri's the future. I know what they're saying, actually. They're talking about Koji's thing, but that's hilarious. Even if it invites his own death. Well, he definitely invited it.
Probably not gonna, unless somebody is gonna revive Boruto.
Awesome, chapter 21. Is that it, by the way? Yeah, that's the final page.
Yeah, that was the page of Jura I saw.
I wasn't expecting that to be it. So Damon wasn't in this chapter. I was wrong about that spoiler. And I still don't know if Yodo's dead. So that wasn't technically a spoiler. People just talked about it.
Yeah. I mean, unless Boruto dies and gets revived, I just feel like we're gonna have to expect Boruto to not die and then have him confront Koji on that.
Yeah. So, real quick, another thing. Obviously, this chapter
makes it seem like Jura's gonna show up at the very least.
Yeah. This chapter focused on Ryu a ton, like that whole Sarada Ryu story. But
okay, I have an idea.
Unless we're gonna say that Konohamaru and Matsuri did have a fight for like 10 minutes off screen.
No, they didn't fight. No, they're in the same position as before.
Okay. So then the time between the previous chapter and this chapter from when we last saw these is practically negligible. Jura just cried for like 2 seconds and stopped. Like he did a one teardrop and that was
it. Yeah. Done crying.
Not even there anymore. Like the streaming tear. Like did he wipe it away? How did it evaporate into his skin? What happened? It's gone so quickly.
Absorbed
see it. He shrunk it.
Oh.
Put it in Daikokuten.
You put in the claw mark. The claw mark fades it away. So what are your overall thoughts on this chapter?
Real quick, another thing. They're once again emphasizing a triangle.
I know, putting that mark on his eye.
Yeah.
They did it to Sarada earlier, though, so I don't know.
But the thing is, it doesn't even belong here. Not only is this not a lit environment, just the angle alone doesn't work for this.
It's also weird on this eye design.
Yeah, exactly, with the Rinnegan, yeah. Again, they're not doing it for any other Rinnegan, as far as I remember. Did they do this when Amado was, like, looking through Kawaki's eye?
They did something similar to Kawaki's eye, yeah. But I don't know if it's necessarily the exact same
That'd be
shape,
insane if Amado was watching through Jura's eye somehow.
Dude, I even though it makes no sense, I'd be down.
This could also be a tie, link, whatever connection to Ishiki. Maybe he has Jigen, Ishiki.
The triangle, and then it's just white for him.
Yeah, he just has that.
Like the white karma, but it's the white triangle.
Yeah. Or, no, hilariously, maybe that just is a white karma in his eye.
Book code, yeah.
That makes no sense. But
it's only appearing now.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's a cool ability. Maybe that's how he's able to do the tailed beast bump, but I doubt. I think that's just he's able to do it through his eye.
Yeah, because he's never tried before.
Hopefully he has a cool ability. In fact, if he shows up, hopefully he doesn't even have to, like, body Sarada. Hopefully that can just be the reveal that his new eye ability through that triangle perfectly counters Sarada's Mangekyo and one-shots it. That'd be cool.
I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, if Sarada makes a black hole, he uses this eye to make a white hole.
To make a white hole.
Where does that sound, Scoopy? That is an actual thing in science.
It's just as the opposite.
Well, no, it is an actual thing in science, though. Like, white holes do literally exist in real life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is the exact opposite of a black hole, to where there's so much mass in an area that it sucks in even light. It's ridiculous, but it's like it's like an anti-vacuum to where there's such little space.
There's such little mass that it blows everything away. It's like
yes, but I don't know how that science works, but it just does. It just does. You just can't approach it.
The almighty push.
Yeah, literally. Okay, so thoughts on the chapter. It was surprisingly short. Maybe that's just because we intentionally read it faster than
it is less pages, like I said.
How many pages
like
is it in
pages
total?
Or something I saw.
How many? Is it 37, you said?
Let's actually scroll back. Okay, 57 is the last one. Let's see what the top.
Oh, this is 41. Was.
Yeah, but the thing on Twitter said it was less. I don't know. But just scroll up, look at the numbers.
I think it is 40 pages. It's just...
That doesn't make sense, because this says 01, but then it gets to, like, 57, so...
Well, there's just 7 pages of flashback. So, there's, like, 33
7 pages are included in 40. This wasn't a 57-page chapter.
Yeah.
So these numbers don't make sense, then.
I mean, okay.
Hold on. I'll just count.
Where are you getting 57 from? Because that's more than normal, not less.
Yeah, but like when you do these volumes and stuff, so 57 is still a weird number, but like, for example, like the third chapter of a volume, it might be like 80 something. It like adds up the pages. So you do like 20 for the first chapter, then it goes 20 to 40, and then 40 to 60, and so on.
Okay, but it's not accounting for
19,
all 40
okay,
pages
yeah,
of
so
last
you just
chapter.
can't see it was cut off. It's 018. So 018 is page 1. 019 page 2. Sorry, so including the cover photo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, chat, how you doing
10,
tonight?
11, 12.
Shout out, any marketing resume, invincible! Nah, only the leaks and fan translation. This chapter out. No, okay. That connection. Sasuke's wings don't even look like angel wings at all. Listen, Space. Not saying it's perfect. Saying it's there. Connections are so lame. You're lame, Space! Shut up! Find Sarada's ability to see at a molecular level was a hint to her Mangekyo.
So now I counted 41, so something went wrong here. Nothing made sense here.
I mean, it's 41 here.
Pages. Oh wait, thing. I counted the cover photo.
Well,
so I don't know what's up on Twitter.
So is this.
Okay, yeah, okay. No.
It's 41 pages.
40 pages.
40 pages, really, yeah.
Okay, I don't know what's up with the Twitter thing then, but...
The ominous star floats. Looking at the cover again. So is there Mangekyo a star?
An ominous star? I don't think it's ominous.
In the Land of Despair is also crazy. So is that what? The Sand Village? It's just the Land of Despair?
It's his nickname.
I got it from Sorcery. From Kid Gara. The stigma that never left. It's like the Blood Mist Village.
Yeah. Land of Despair.
Well, Shinky's gonna try and bring it back, like the 7 Ninja Swordsmen tried to bring back the Blood Mist Village.
Oh.
But anyways. Yeah, so thoughts on chat. I thought it was really short, but I guess it wasn't. It was I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of anticlimactic. I didn't really get anything I wanted because Sarada didn't have, in my opinion, a cool fight. And we didn't see Konohamaru, or it feels like the whole thing just was on Sarada. We didn't see Konohamaru Matsuri fight. We saw Boruto talking to Koji, which that fills in pages.
That was my favorite part of the chapter.
Fine.
I think the only good parts of the chapter, in my opinion, would be Boruto talking to Koji, which has its problems, but I like the conflict. And then the flashback part was pretty good.
I agree. But I'm not going to count that.
Is in the flashback, or the thing about
exactly.
She says about Konohamaru.
It's not new.
The Prez is the Super 8 thing.
Yeah. So I'm not going to count the flashback because it's not new. And then the Boruto talking to Koji
isn't even new.
It's good, but I didn't particularly like it. It just feels like it perfectly fills in the chapter. It's just continuing that storyline.
I know.
Yes, Boruto showing up is new.
Well, I mean, the short answer is that's because I didn't really like the rest of the chapter. But unironically, I think this is one of my least favorite chapters. Probably not my least. Well, okay, that's tough. It's more interesting than chapter 2. But chapter 2 did less things I just specifically dislike.
Chapter 2 felt like a waste of time. Things did happen in this chapter, but it felt so little.
Okay. How would you compare this chapter to a couple of chapters? I feel like these are some of the ones to be the most annoyed about. So chapter 10, Kurama talking to Himawari's to preconceived biases bullshit. Chapter 11, Himawari's quote-unquote rage. Chapter 13, Jura's ridiculous reason for leaving. Chapter 14, Ibiki makes no sense. That's probably it for most of the really annoying chapters.
So a lot of those had annoying moments, but they still had some cool stuff in the chapter. This chapter didn't have anything that really overly wowed me. We got an answer, kind of, on what Sarada's Mangekyo is, and it was like OP, but like Sarada, again, she didn't have a cool fight, in my opinion. Like if the anime gets to this, they're not going to have a chance to do cool animation.
Yeah, because all they can be able to do is just do her ability the same way the manga did.
Yeah, they're just gonna float up, and Ryu's gonna not do anything and get sucked in and explode. Gotta be it. Like, I guess the closest thing they could do to quote-unquote cool would be like Gojo's Hollow Purple against, what's the forest girl's name? Mega... Who is it?
The tree curse?
Yeah.
Anime?
Yeah. Mommy. It starts with an M.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Starts with the letter H.
Letter H? He, coma, he, komi, he...
Can you not hear me? I've said Hanami like 10 times. He's not listening.
I did not hear you.
Yeah, her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably the coolest way they
What
can do it.
I was gonna say is, honestly, they'll probably just have Ryu try more Iron Sand attacks and have it like the black hole just suck it up really quickly over and over again a couple extra times or something like that. I can see that being the thing that they do. It's the same thing, but more.
That's not doing anything though. See, but then that's just showing off the Mangekyo ability. That's not doing anything.
I agree.
But it's a problem more than usual because this wasn't just Sarada awakening her Mangekyo. This is as she was describing. She's not gonna hold back anymore. She can't run away. She has to unleash her true power, her real self, the secret she's been hiding all along. She's not gonna hold herself back anymore. And we didn't really get to see that. This was supposed to be her, like, explosive power moment. Basically, Six Tails Naruto versus Nagato.
I mean, for Sarada, I'm fine with it being all ability-based, because, like, I don't think she was hiding her physical power so much as, like, the Mangekyo power. I'm still mad that like, what she says applies to Mitsuki, like, you'd be the one who was holding back.
But still, like, even Fifth Gate Lee versus Gaara was practically the same concept. Obviously, way different.
Okay, it has it's a different type of power situation, though.
Like, it's like, hypothetically, Sarada awakened her Fifth Gate and then didn't fight in Fifth Gate and just instantly went to Primary Lotus without it even looking cool. It's like she did a Primary Lotus without Taijutsu without doing any of the build up to it. Not even Fifth Gate. It was like just the Third Gate that Lee started with. It's like Third Gate onwards. Whenever he started using the red gates. Removing all that. Even Nine Tails Naruto. It's like it's like the movie version to where they just cut from the first Chidori Rasengan clash, just going to the second one, basically. They just cut out everything in between, as if Naruto just missed or failed or whatever. Ridiculous.
I mean, I'm not the person who should be overly reviewing Sarada's Mangekyo fight because, like, I admit it, I'm biased. Conceptually, I don't like it. I just don't really like her Mangekyo Awakening Chapter 80 that much, compared to the others at least. And I'm definitely not really a fan of her reawakening because of Yodo instead of... Like, imagine her doing this to Hidari. Infinitely more impactful.
I know.
It's not just that Yodo's the one prodding it out of her, it's just who she's using it on.
Especially imagine if, as Sarada's doing it, both Sarada and Hidari are having flashbacks to Sasuke and Sarada together.
That could be cool.
That would have such a tragic undertone.
Ignites something in his memory, a latent memory, whatever, that relates to his identity.
Yes.
That's something you could do with it. That would
such a tragic
make sense,
undertone.
and it would be good.
It would feel like Netero having to fight Meruem, and Meruem wanting to talk and Netero not wanting to. Because it's Sarada's doing something that she has to do, even if both of them don't want it now.
And even if you didn't do that, it's just the fact of the matter is, her being the one to take down Hidari with this, like the thing is, like, yeah, she can just go do it now to Hidari willy-nilly, but like Hidari's the one you want her to awaken it on, not just to use it on. You know, like Naruto awakened Sage Mode for Pain, and that's why that's the most impactful Sage Mode Naruto fight. It's like he awakened it for Pain, who killed Jiraiya, the Toad Sage Mode user, by the way. But you wouldn't want, like, Naruto to awaken Toad Sage Mode for Kakuzu and then just reuse the exact same power on Pain because he just so happened to have awakened it previously. You know, it's just like, you know, it's taken away from that. I don't know.
So I know that you're not going to
be as hyped. I'm not going to be hyped for it versus Hidari anymore.
Yeah. I know that you're not going to get this, but just for all those Dragon Ball people that will, shout out Editing and Marketing Resume who just is here.
2 different examples, maybe 3 or 4. Whenever Goku goes Super Saiyan for the first time, and think about how long the fight is after that. Imagine if they just, next chapter, Goku just instantly won without any resistance, basically, just couldn't do anything. Or you want to go to Super Saiyan 2, freaking Gohan, he awakens it. Goku doesn't sacrifice himself. There's no father-son Kamehameha. It's just, and Cell doesn't even fight back. He just can't do a Kamehameha in response. It's just Gohan just next chapter does the Kamehameha and just kills him. Let's see, what else is there? I guess Goku going Super Saiyan. I guess we just don't get anything past Fat Boo. It's just Goku wins. It's like you get a moment of the next level of power. And it's just nothing. The best instance of this...
Well, actually, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Usually in this type of situation, for example, Boruto versus Kodo used. Kodo's dog walking him. Boruto awakens a new level of karma power for him personally to control, at least. Boruto doesn't proceed to just immediately obliterate Code. He proceeds to get in a very close fight with Code.
Yeah.
He doesn't even actually win in this case, because he just gets heart attack. But like, usually in these types of situations, Naruto's new mode, Toad Sage mode, to fight pain, he actually doesn't even win at first. But like, again, he doesn't just dog walk pain. It's a very close fight. Naruto awakens his Nine-Tails chakra thing versus Neji. He doesn't just dog walk Neji, no, he gets in a very close fight. He gets the summoning jutsu and a little bit Nine-Tails chakra versus Gaara and everything else. He doesn't just dog walk Gaara, he gets in a very close fight. He awakens for Nine-Tails power versus Sasuke in the final belly. He doesn't just dog walk Sasuke. Granted, in that case, Sasuke also powers up. But overall, the fight ends up being a very close fight. Orochimaru, even Orochimaru, at least Orochimaru, he quote-unquote dog walking him. But Orochimaru's also just not getting hurt by anything because he has Orochimaru powers and he's just fine after anything. So again, it's a very close fight. Every single time. A Bijou Sage mode versus Jubito. It's a very close fight. And then, what other examples? In Boruto. Usually in these situations, again, there are some exceptions. Kawaki awakens the freaking Karma V2 versus Borishiki. A very close fight. Like, but almost every time, I know there's gonna be some exceptions, but like almost every time, they don't just obliterate them with the power-up. It gets them to a close fight. Like, especially if they were losing. Obviously, if the fight was close, then they power up, then they're going to win. But when the enemy is just dog-walking them, then they power up. Usually, it leads to a good battle. Even, they don't just dog-walk. This is a rare exception to dog-walk them.
See, the thing is, because there's several instances of something like this in even Naruto that I'm going to point to right now. So this, the general idea, because this is all over anime, it's whenever a character is holding back and for either something they find in themselves or something that someone else gives them, in this case it was Yodo giving it to Sarada, they figure out something about themselves and they stop holding back. They don't hold anything back anymore so they can have a fight. And that's a promise of a premise. The author's telling you you're about to get a fight better than what you've got up to this point. The fight's only halfway done, maybe even. Like, the fight before was cool, but now it's like the tides are going to turn. But like, oh shit, this is hype. I can't wait to see the actual fight begin next chapter.
I got an example for you. Kakashi versus Obito. Most of the fight before then, Kakashi doesn't want to kill Obito. He then gets the resolve, and that's when you get the Kakashi versus Obito episode that everyone knows is the best fight in all of Naruto.
See, that technically works. I was going to go in order. So technically, the very first instance, I would argue, is bad, and everyone does complain about it. Naruto versus Mizuki. Yeah. Obviously, Iruka gives him that, and then the fight happens off screen, obviously. So that is a bad one. But then you go to Naruto versus Zabuza with his Oath of Pain.
Real quick though, at least with the Mizuki one, it comes across as a humorous comedy thing.
Sure.
Because Naruto at first is very comedic. It's a goofy story at first. You can make that argument there. It's portrayed in a comedic light with Mizuki with face, all being up. But that's not what they did here.
Yeah.
Sarada's not being goofy, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna beat you up. And having Mizuki go, You know, like, they're not giving it a comedic element. Like, again, I would agree, it's kind of like, it could have been better, but, like, at least it has an argument for comedy. You can't use that here. This was not portrayed as a comedic anything.
I agree.
That's why I address that.
Yeah, so again, the Oath of Pain, you have the most iconic freaking sequence in all of Naruto with the Demon Wind Shuriken after that. So, there's that with Naruto versus Zabuza. Moving forward, I'll go with, again, with tuning exams, we already talked about Lee versus Gaara in that case. Is there any other tuning exams fights that I want to point out there? No, so I guess next one would be Sasuke versus Gaara, if you want to count it. Then you could argue that. I don't think that's very strong, but I think a much stronger instance would be Naruto versus Gaara, specifically right before he summons his 2,000 clones. He's like, I will not lose, especially considering Gaara scared him before him. He's a monster. Look at how he was shaking in the hospital. And yeah, sure, he said, oh, you got a monster in you. Well, I got the real deal in me, or whatever he said. But still, Gaara scared him. Look at how much he was needing the fight between Gaara and Sasuke to stop. What's up?
It's really well. I've talked about this before in a video before, but like the leading up to that moment, Naruto is afraid of Gaara. Like he's just objectively frightened. Of him, not just his appearance, not just his power, but his way of life. Exactly. He's scared by all of it.
He's scared of his
ideology.
Of
course, but Naruto obliterated that Gaara with his 2,000 shadow clones. But you know what Gaara did? He bounced back. And then he took the lead when he went Giant Shukaku. And that's what Ryu didn't do.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, we had a small bit of a fight before then between Naruto and Gaara in the forest there, before his, like, conviction.
Yeah, with the boom, 1,000 Years of Death part.
Yeah, but I would consider Naruto's conviction there to really be the start of the fight. But even then, like you're saying, Gaara bounced back. He eventually even awakened Shukaku. And then Naruto had basically a second awakening convention. That's where the fight really began between Gamabunta versus Shukaku.
And then he has a third one with the Ninetales chakra at the very end.
Technically, but I'm not even going to count that one. I'll just count those two for the Naruto fight. I think the next instance is going to be Tsunade awakening her 1,000 healings, fighting Orochimaru. I'm not going to say that one's the best because that one was pretty short, but it's still like the exact same concept and really well done. Regardless of how the fight choreography went, the moment was very strong.
Okay, real quick. We can keep going for a tiny bit longer, but I'm just going to say it. I'm going to start, like, brushing my teeth and stuff. So if I ever just don't... And I take forever to brush my teeth. So if I'm just not answering you for, like, a couple of minutes, assume that's why.
Okay. Well, we're pretty much done here anyway, so it's okay. Let's see. After the Tsunade one, what would even be next? Maybe Naruto versus Sasuke, if you want. Well, no, I got one. Red Pill Choji. Again, the most hype, climactic, highest stake moment of the fight. You could also argue, technically, maybe the Neji fight, but I feel like there's another fight. Shikamaru, Kiba, maybe not. So yeah, really just the Choji one would be the hype one there. Where, again, Red Pill. He's having that moment where he's going to stop holding back. He's going to go all out. He doesn't even know what's going to happen. It's risky, but it's an all-out gamble that he just has to take. Even if you...
Well, no,
yeah.
Not even that. Let's actually discuss Choji real quick. First of all, there's the green pill and the yellow pill back and forth with Jirobo with the curse mark power-up. So they're going back and forth for a while before the
exactly.
But second, major difference. It's not just Choji revealing his true power, going all out, stop holding back, blah, blah, blah. He resolved to die by taking this red pill was the gate of death. My guy's ace gate of death. That's what this red pill was stated to be by Shikamaru Choji leading up to the moment before I got retconned to everything not. It was he gave up his life to kill Jirobo. That is not what Sarada's doing.
In fact,
I'm okay with Choji giving up his life, or at least planning to do so, to destroy Jirobo, because it's like he gave his life up to do that. He's not just revealing his Mangekyo.
What was because Choji directly says so. What was his quote as he says something to Jirobo like, I'm putting my entire life into this punch.
All of my chakra to my left hand. This next attack is worth my whole life. Because he planned to die, obviously. He was giving up his life to obliterate Jirobo. And like I said, that's okay, especially when they went back and forth for so long leading up to that with the green pill, yellow pill, curse mark 1 and 2, and so on. Like, not the same as what happened with Sarada here.
Yeah, it's
not to mention that Shikamaru and Choji bond way more impactful than fucking Yoda.
Exactly. It was an all or nothing, all out, life on the line, lifeline gamble.
But similar to Kurama Naruto Baryon mode, I know that Naruto didn't end up dying. Naruto intended to die, and Kurama ultimately did die temporarily anyway.
I don't think I would necessarily count that one either, because Naruto didn't even know about it. Yeah. Oh, I did forget one. The one that I was really thinking of as well. It was tuning exams, forced to death. Sasuke versus Orochimaru. That's actually probably the most thematically similar instance to this one right here. In this case, Naruto's replacing Yodo, which works infinitely better just with that alone. But even then,
that one is executed better, and even then, Sasuke quote unquote destroys Orochimaru like this, except then it's revealed that fucking Orochimaru's not trying. He's just pretending.
Well, no, but I'm completely okay with that, because Orochimaru was trying to, like, a certain extent, specifically to test Sasuke. Like, he was making himself relative to Sasuke, and then Sasuke surpassed that version of Orochimaru. So Orochimaru was trying to that degree, but it's not that Orochimaru let him win, even though he did, but you get the idea. Sasuke earns the win. But either way, something I love in that fight that I need to make a video on, because if I haven't wrote this in a script, I might have, but I definitely need to. Look at what happened, because it's what's not said. Yes, in the Land of Waves arc, Sasuke sacrificed his life to protect Naruto because he couldn't stand essentially walking that path, the same path as Itachi, basically. He wanted to defeat Itachi. It's like he says to Naruto in the Gaara fight that he can't stand watching any more of his comrades die. And so he's not going to let that happen, because that's what Itachi would have done. And he can't stand himself being like Itachi, which is the real reason he sacrificed himself for Naruto. Obviously, along with him being Naruto's friend or whatever, is the reason. I don't know why. Oh, why did you do it, Sasuke? That's why. But it's also, again, it has to do with Itachi. It's his conviction based on that. But also, Sasuke did, quote unquote, die there. So when he came back to life and realized what happened in retrospect, he did, like, have, I don't want to say doubts, but like a second coming realization on that moment. Because if he dies not following Itachi's path, then he's just going to die. And so when he gets to Orochimaru, and Orochimaru tells him, this is a battle of life or death. We are going to fight to the death. And Orochimaru is scared. If Sasuke fights him, he could die. Well, why is this important? He already was willing to die fighting Haku. Well, it's because he did die, and then realized if he dies, then he can't kill Itachi. So now he almost like has a second doubt to where he needs to stay alive to kill Itachi. So even though he has that thing of protecting Naruto because he doesn't want to be like Itachi, now he, like, realizes, because it already happened, if he dies, then he's dead and he can't kill Itachi. And so he can't let that happen either.
But he was willing to sacrifice that on the High Crush, though. Again.
Yes, but again, that why was he able to do it? It's because of what Naruto teaches him in this fight, which is why he's willing to fight Orochimaru. That's the moment where he basically gets his Konoha Crush conviction. It's whenever Naruto makes him aware that he's being a scaredy cat. Well, what does that really mean? He can't fight Itachi if he can't even fight Orochimaru.
Yeah.
And so
this moment is a lot. It's especially because Sasuke's echoing. It's kind of funny. I'm only saying this because I've just been watching this, but Sasuke's echoing Itachi's words to run away, live. Blah blah blah. It's just like Killua with Illumi's needle in Hunter x Hunter. Like, it's literally the same thing. Like, in that moment.
Yeah, on the surface layer, I do think what I'm saying that isn't said is very important about the Land of Waves. The fact that, because I think if the Land of Waves just never happened, they just went straight to the Forest of Death. I don't think Sasuke's being scared here. He wasn't scared fighting Haku. He wouldn't have been scared fighting Orochimaru, even if Orochimaru said it's a fight to the death and all that. Because it was the same thing. It was a fight to death against Haku.
The only There's a couple potential problems. Now, feel free to argue against these, but number one, Orochimaru just did the scary fear
I know.
Okay, that's number one. But two, Sasuke was trembling with fear when he saw Zabuza the first time before Kakashi.
But I already thought about that. That's completely okay because Kakashi was there, and Kakashi did say, "Don't worry," like he's yelling at Sasuke fiercely, like a freaking general in the military. Sasuke, I won't let you die. It's going crazy with it.
Okay, but like if the Land of Waves doesn't happen, he doesn't hear Kakashi yelling at him.
Oh, okay.
So when he sees Orochimaru and he's just being Yoni level, basically, I guess he might be scared all the same.
Oh my goodness. Okay, if you want to count that, sure. To be fair, maybe he was trembling with excitement.
It's possible.
It doesn't clarify what he's trembling with there.
I don't think it was excitement, though. Based off his internal dialogue.
I mean, potato. But either way. So I definitely think there's something there. I think I've already wrote down in a script way better than what I said here, but that's the general idea. So we have that. We also have, again, that was one of the most hype, coolest fight ever with the best freaking choreography ever, especially in the anime. And so, again, it's like leading up to the real fight. Everything you've seen up until now has been cool, but what you've watched is good. What you're about to get now is great. It's going to be something special because of how we've hyped it up, we've built it up. Sasuke, he's now going to go all out. He's going to go farther than we've ever seen him go before, and we were just watching him fight. So now we're going to get a real fight between Sasuke and Orochimaru. It's going to be the coolest thing ever. Similarly, if you want to argue that, I think this would be another instance, Sasuke awakening the curse mark against the Sound Ninja in the Forest of Death. We get Juin theme playing. And yes, to be fair, Sakura does, like, interrupt that fight, but still. We got, like, everyone fighting before then. And then we got Sasuke showing up to be the OP, cool, strong guy here. Yeah, he's not, like, it's not the exact same idea, but it's practically as similar as possible. So I'm going to count it. I think that's just all the moments in Naruto alone. You would also have the final fight if you want to count that. I think it can count, but it's not exactly the same thing either. But a lot of instances. You also have Dragon Ball Super when Goku is fighting Hit. Again, this isn't one that Kamui would know. But his risky all-out gamble. This would either work or he's gonna die. The Kaioken times 20 times blue. Or whatever he did there. It's blue Kaioken times 20. It was the coolest freaking thing ever. And you know what? It led to the coolest freaking thing ever. It wasn't just a transformation. Wasn't just the fact that he could do it. It's not just the Sarada's Mangekyo. It's actually seeing the result of it. Not the ability, not seeing what it can do, but seeing it in actual action to its fullest extent. We haven't seen the limitations of Sarada's Sharingan because Sarada wasn't pushed in this fight. I wanted to see that because she needed this in order to even confront Ryu. It's not even a thing of she's guaranteed to win. It's just the thing she needs to even begin the fight, the real fight. But then there wasn't a fight, which is the real problem there. But that's my thoughts, and I'm assuming Kamui's brushing his teeth for several minutes now, so I will read chat. So hello, Chad. Any thoughts that you want for me? Her Sharingan seeing the Boruto virus. Okay, the molecular level thing, yeah. Is the chapter out yet now? Kanapa. Possibly.
I haven't started brushing my teeth yet, by the way. That was just the water flosser, so I can talk for a minute before I start. I'm gonna floss with the toothpick floss thing.
Okay, well, did you have something to say in particular?
That I completely agree.
Brush your stupid teeth. Hope they rot. Like he's already sold one. Not only the leaks and fan translations are out, yes. Thank you. Thought USA might have got it early. That would be crazy. I don't know why the United States of all places would get it early. It's on the internet, if anything. Do you remember the Lord of the Rings cover page for chapter 680? Well, considering I didn't even realize Lord of the Rings had 680 chapters, let alone a book. I thought it was a movie, but I guess it can be a book adaptation. Didn't even realize it had cover pages, by the way.
For chapters.
It's a novel. Yeah, what? But no, I don't remember that, for the record. If I am lame, then you are even lamer, Oodie. Oh, good one, Space. Oh, he got me right in the feels. Oh, my heart. Oh, I feel like I was just attacked by Sarada's Mangekyo. Ooh. And obviously, if anyone's here from Mello's stream, then of course they're gonna disagree. We're so mean to him. We're sorry, Mello, if you ever watch this.
It's become a meme.
I know. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the chapter. I hope you all enjoyed our reaction. What did you all think of the chapter? But we're probably in before you get to answer, so... I'm gonna do the stupidest, weirdest poses on camera all night. But my camera has been up as well. You've only been able to see half my face at best. Sometimes it's like none of my face during the reaction. It's awful. It's been too far away for me to lower. I've been too lazy, so I've noticed it the whole time, in case you've been wondering, chat. So there's that. Let's see, is there anyone that said anything in the new chat? Live chat? Nope. Shout out Celebana! He's been here. Shout out Silva. But yeah. Looks like that's probably all the chats. I feel like I've said everything I want to say in the chapter. Pro, can we move on?
The only thing I haven't said yet is that... So I mentioned earlier something I was anticipating having to say.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. You said you had like a speech for the end of the chapter.
So I wouldn't say the chapter necessarily fully leads to this, but I would tell you about the thing I was ready to say anyway. I won't say, but I have a compromise answer. So the thing I was prepared to have to say is that I am metaphorically drunk. Just given up on it, and I'm only going to read it the same reason I read JJK. Out of enjoying narrative analyses on the things I like to do, maybe, like journal, for example. But like for the most part, I will have just given up on it. I won't say that about the whole series. This chapter wasn't bad enough to do that. What I will do though is say that I've metaphorically given up on Sarada and Mitsuki. I've given up on him. I'm hoping for the best for Mitsuki, but I've given up. And I've given up on Sarada. I don't think I'll ever like her again, in the manga at least. The anime, I'm sure, will make her way better, but I just don't like her. I liked her conception in Naruto Gaiden and early Boruto, but I have not liked Sarada in the manga, really. I'm just not vibing with it. It's not to say that she's inherently bad, I'm just not vibing with it.
Yeah, I think some of the things this chapter did was quote-unquote good, and I liked it. For example, the flashbacks at the beginning. It was pleasurable, but that's not enough. I had high expectations going into this chapter.
Because it's not just...
It just wasn't serviceable.
Like, this is what you would expect from, like, Yodo to get her moment on this level.
Yeah. This wasn't special. It wasn't anything special.
Just like her Mangekyo Awakening. It's not that in a vacuum, her, like I'm talking chapter 80, in a vacuum, I don't think it's bad. But when you compare it, because again, it started, the second main character, it should be special. When you compare it to every other Awakening, and it's special, it's by far my least favorite.
It just wasn't overly exciting. Yeah, like I just wasn't wowed. Like, I should have been sitting here losing my mind at the hypeness of the cool, both narrative and plot, of just everything going crazy. But it was just things happening.
Like, it's really sad when I was more, oh my god, about seeing Mamushi in that panel of Ada thinking about how creepy he was, than I was anything in the chapter. It's just like when I thought Mamushi was showing up, like, I was like, oh my god, I was wrong.
Yeah, like practically everything, practically every single beat, every individual beat of the Ishiki fight was just peak. Undeniable peak.
This I'm just sitting here going through the motions.
Yeah, exactly. We felt like, in fact, like, this is one of this is a little bit fast. I know we were trying to be fast, but like, it was such a through the motions read.
It felt like an average chapter when this should have been like, this was the chapter to go balls to the walls crazy.
I'd argue it felt below average.
I mean, in terms of like, I guess seriousness or stakes or expectations. Like I'm not going to say it was
average in general.
I'm not going to say it was a setup chapter because it obviously wasn't, but it felt.
This was a payoff chapter.
It was a payoff chapter, but it felt emotionally like a setup chapter.
Yeah.
Like it gave me the same feeling as a setup chapter would.
But without the setup to ponder on.
It was the payoff.
Yeah, I mean, what does this remind me of? It reminds me of Boruto Chapter, chapter 78, where I was just like, yeah, it happened, but I wasn't wowed. I was like, this is not what the thing I had expected
agree.
from it.
I think that is the difference. It just is something that's happening. That's the problem.
Like, yeah. But the way that they're hyping it up is it's obviously meant to be like a big deal, but it's just like, I'm not feeling the big deal from this.
Yeah, because for a lot of Two Blue Vortex, it's the most clear, blatant, obvious problems that are big deals, like the biggest deals. This chapter, in my opinion, didn't have many of those. Every chapter has its problems, and you anticipate and expect it to, and this chapter had like its normal amount of problems. So it's not that it was bad in terms of it had a lot of problems more than normal. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good, which is why it's on the lower half of all Two Blue Vortex chapters.
It wasn't good when it was. It's like the important things that are meant to be like the best things. Like,
yeah, like.
So, like, the Boruto Koji thing that we were talking about, where the Koji, like, okay, but Jurik's going to show up, and now, like, Boruto's obviously not going to die. Like, that's kind of like a problem. Typical Two Blue Vortex problem.
Mm-hmm.
Sarada's Mangekyo some typical Two Blue Vortex problem. I mean, you could argue it is, but it's more just, I'm not vibing with it.
Because I'm going to be honest,
feel that way.
Going into this chapter, I expected it to be top 5 chapters of Two Blue Vortex. That was my expectation. I didn't know whether it was going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Probably 5, because those other 4 are pretty high placements. I'm not going to lie. Like, that would actually be, unironically, that would be pretty high praise, top 5 chapters. But after reading this, it might be bottom 3 chapters.
It's one of my least favorites. I mean, it's not, like, I wouldn't say it's the most aggravating chapter. I would say I think I was more annoyed with Himawari's power-up by comparison. Interestingly. But that one had more, like, annoyances.
Yeah.
This one is just like, I'm rolling my eyes. I'm not
exactly
pounding my fist on the wall, but I'm rolling my eyes the whole time.
Exactly. This chapter wasn't fun. That's a big difference as well. A lot of those hype cool fights, when they get down to the real fight, though, that's when you're having fun. That's exciting. There was no excitement in this.
I was more excited in the other chapter that happened, like, chapter 19 or 20 or something, when Ryu's doing some of the cool tactics to get around Araya's sword and shit.
It's like they didn't whittle each other down or anything. It was like Borushiki, but minus the hype factor.
Yeah.
We almost expect
like, it works with Borushiki.
It does, yeah. I think just comparing the Borushiki scene versus this scene, to see where that scene did good, whereas this scene did bad, would be very easy. That could be a cool video.
They also had
well.
like they had 3 chapters of actually fighting and dealing with Goro, and they narratively won when they broke his core.
Yeah.
Before he went on a rampage. In this case, it's not applicable at all. They didn't narratively win anywhere. They just didn't win. It's like if Borushiki showed up, I don't know, in chapter 41, just after they freaking just started the fight.
In a way, I don't know if I would agree with that. I slightly disagree. Because, again, other anime do this a lot. You haven't seen that many anime. I've seen over 100, so obviously I've seen
this play out multiple different ways, multiple different times. They won by Yodo convincing Sarada to use her true powers. The power that she's had all along that was able to defeat Shinki from the very beginning, but she had to be convinced to use it. If she didn't be convinced, then they would have lost because she wouldn't have used it.
Okay, but here's the problem with that. Ignoring the obvious Yodo sucks nonsense part. How did they get to that point? By Ryu being too strong and stabbing Yodo. They didn't earn that. Ryu earned it for them.
I disagree. It's not so Sarada didn't do it because Yodo died. It's because Yodo was dying that she was willing to finally say the thing that Sarada needed to hear. What Yodo was talking about wasn't about Ryu beating them. It was about Boruto, and that is something vulnerable and special to Sarada.
I know, but it's like Yodo.
It is Yodo, but it's not about who said it. It's about what Sarada heard and what that meant to her.
Well, I was hoping you would say it's about what Yodo said, and what Yodo said was nonsense, but that's what Sarada heard, wasn't it?
It's not about the bad things Yodo said about hearing Sarada or whatever. And again, I argued last night that could be argued.
What Yodo said literally contradicts herself anyway.
Yes, but you can argue in execution it flopped as hardcore as possible. I'm ignoring the execution for this. The concept, Yodo said things about Boruto, and that is what Sarada needed to hear. In concept, that is, in a way, beautiful.
I mean, words, sure. I just would have picked any other character.
Literally, yeah.
I don't find it. That's the best way to put it.
Unironically, Shinki would have worked way better. Or sorry, not Shinki, Araya.
Araya.
Yeah. Because of just what they've done with Araya's obvious love of Yodo. Because Yodo, you can say whatever about her obvious love of Shinki. They've directly, obviously, had on-screen panels and stuff of Araya having this for Yodo. Whereas Yodo has just been, like, implied in the background, honestly. Not really.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just... I really liked Konohamaru Matsuri and most of what Juro was saying at the same time of it.
Mm-hmm.
That part of the arc is what was good. Now, obviously, the arc's not over yet. There's going to be something else. But that being said, actually, though, that gets into okay, this needs to be the last topic, though, by the way. You don't even have to finish the topic. I just want to at least present it. So, again, we don't know how much longer this arc is. But based off what we've seen so far, let's try to brainstorm Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, midpoint stuff. Because Sarada's moment here, for all intents and purposes, Sarada could be the protagonist of this arc. It kind of makes sense. The arc starts with her, but doesn't start with her, but it gets pretty early in the arc. Her and Sumire conversation about love is that's the start of the love part of this arc anyway. The first 2 chapters are just whatever nonsense, right? And then what we're getting here is like her awakening, having her third act moment and where she wins in the end because she realizes her true self, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, screenwriting stuff, okay? It feels like Sarada's kind of fitting that idea.
I agree.
Which means everything with Boruto is going to be like resolution, epilogue-y stuff, meaning can we expect a major thing with Boruto and Juro? Can we really expect that? If the answer is yes, then Sarada's moment, in the grand scheme of things, isn't really the big takeaway part of the arc. It's whatever earlier thing.
Well, think about how long the Kara
it doesn't feel
arc
like that's
was.
the case.
You could argue it felt like a good conclusion after the Boro fight, but then that obviously wasn't the end of that arc. That was like slightly past the midpoint. Again, I still think this arc could be a lot longer than we actually realize
it could be.
But
it could be. I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't know. We'll have to see. So it just depends, because like it either needs to be like I guess just a little bit after the midpoint, probably, or this is kind of the end of the arc. It could easily be the end of the arc. The question is just the problem is, though, Oh, for all I know, this is the midpoint. False victory and Boruto showing up. Midpoint changed directions. Now Jorah's mad. Blah blah blah. Could be literally the midpoint. Tough to say.
Mm-hmm. I mean, then you ask who the antagonist is. Ryu doesn't fit that, even though he's the one directly fighting against Sarada. This is similar to the Forest of Death, where you could argue it's Orochimaru. Or really, it'd be the Chunin Exams arc, in which case it would be Neji, but obviously the Force of Death just doesn't make sense as like a first confrontation.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things. So honestly speaking, I wanted to bring this up in the past at some point. In a way, the Chunin Exams is almost like three. I mean, you could argue the exam itself is like the antagonist, but so you could kind of break it up. In the first exam, Ibiki / the exam itself is the antagonist. It's not Neji. It's like, if you want to break up the Forest of Death, it's Orochimaru and his goons more than anything.
Well, I think both of those you could say again. It's not Neji, but it's the idea Neji presents. It's Destiny is the antagonist. Because that's technically the antagonist in both the written exams and the Force of Death, if you break it down in that way.
In certain aspects, but I do think this Force of Death is probably the trickiest one. I mean, I guess the destiny of Sasuke's destiny when it comes to being an Avenger,
fighting to the death.
But like, yeah. So in that sense, though, it's more like that's slowly developing the theme of destiny. It's not really. But again, though, it's like, unless you want to just say Destiny is the antagonist, which is kind of silly. It's not. It's Neji.
What I would say in both of these instances, the antagonist is an archetype rather than inherently a character, because you have multiple different types of stories. You have character versus character, character versus environment, character versus self, and so on. I think both the Chunin Exams arc and this arc is a character versus self kind of story, to where the antagonist is the same as the protagonist. It is Sarada.
Sure.
The obstacle is
that
love.
Can work.
Yes.
And the only problem is that if we're going to compare Ryu to even the freaking written exam, I'm sorry, I'm taking the written exam every year. Every day. It's better. Sorry, it is. Unironically, cooler, more interesting, more engaging, more thematically impactful, everything, more emotionally resonant. I would rather watch the written exam again and again than this entire arc. And that's bad. The written exam's like 2 chapters long. It was good, though. I'll admit.
It is good.
Very good. And with that, Ikimoto failed.
Well, real quick, just one more thing I'll say on the previous talk about, I do agree that objectively, Araya would be better than Yodo to talk to Sarada here. That being said, I do think the reason they chose Yodo from the writing perspective, I think they are doing a specific thing here, because the Code Arc was specifically about obsessive love. You can argue they're doing that again, repeating that same idea here. But I do think...
Based on that note that Salads and Boats wrote...
Yeah, exactly. That's why I bring that up, really. But this arc is not the Code Arc. I don't think it's repeating the same thing. I don't think they would repeat the same thing like that. I think the developing thing is entirely different, even if it is about love similarly. But it's about romantic love, but the best way to present that as an idea would be through the femininity, which ties into romance, which is why I think this is a personal, specifically a girl thing. That's why, because the girls are the ones connecting about the boys, the cute boys being boys that they have a crush on, because boys don't do that. Boys have love.
I agree with everything you're going to continue to say.
But
I do want to address this, though. It does have a major, I don't want to call it a flaw, but an annoying concern aspect in that, I'm sorry, but like, can we at least present it from the guy's point of view for once in this manga? It's just every step of the way. It's the girl fawning over the guy over and over again. Sorry to Sumire, Ada, Araya, everyone. Like, you're beautiful, Araya. I'm not even going to count Araya. They didn't do anything with Araya's love for Yoda. I would rather have Araya do it. Make it different. I again, this isn't a flaw. Just why not? Why couldn't we have made it a little bit different?
In terms of romantic love, sure.
To have Araya be the vulnerable one saying it, instead of the girl for the 59,000th time.
In terms of romantic love, sure. We did have Konohamaru crushing on people, and in Boruto and Naruto, and we
had
had
Konohamaru, Ramon. I'm talking about the manga right now.
Okay, well then Konohamaru and Moegi. There you go. Even though it's brand new
you mean
and
that
random.
thing that they never once brought up before this moment?
Yes. But okay, but then also you have Naruto and Sakura from part 1. But I'm sure you're talking about Boruto specifically.
Exactly. I'm talking about Boruto. I was going to use Naruto and Sakura as my counter.
Okay.
Me and Sakura. Kishimoto addressed the other end of the spectrum.
Well, okay. Inojin and Himawari.
We don't even know if that's a thing. It's a theory.
Oh crap, you're right. Well, even then, it's not about Inojin talking about it. It's about Inojin being a boy and going out there to fight over it, if that's what they're doing. It's not like Ada calling on specifically Sarada and Sumire, 2 females who she wants to be friends with, to talk on a closeness kind of level, because they're girls, about the guys that they like, because that's how they can relate. It's not like she wants to talk up to Shikadai.
I mean, I said, I'm not calling it a flaw, but I'm saying, like, that was good at Ada's case, but, like, can we not just only do that?
But, like, that's what I think I'm getting at. It's because girls do pillow talk. I don't think it's by... Let's just say that Inojin was having a crush or in love with or whatever with Himawari. I don't think it's coincidence or luck or chance that Ada happened to choose Sarada and Sumire. And again, this is ignoring the theory that it's because they're in love with specifically Boruto and Kawaki. Or whatever, just Boruto. I think she's choosing them over Inojin specifically because they're girls, so they're gonna get it in the same way that Ada's gonna get it, whereas Inojin wouldn't. It's
not just that; it's also I'll elaborate further. They genuinely have actual worthwhile feelings to talk about. Unironically, I do think Chocho actually, with her goofy ass comments, could have given Ada some good advice.
I agree,
but I think she wouldn't choose Chocho because she would view Chocho as just goofy, whatever crush on Kawaki that's not deep and not going to be helpful.
Well, Chocho is also a little bit more of a tomboy.
Just accidentally give the best advice in the world the way she does.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't be intentionally thinking deep and doing it.
Yeah, well, I think Chocho is also a little bit of a tom girl, whereas Ada is a little bit more leaning in that femininity area, talking about makeup or whatever, having a lot of vanity, wanting to brush her teeth, etc.
I don't know, Chocho's weird, because I can see why you're saying the tom girl, but at the same time, she's also the most girly girl, talking about guys more than literally anyone.
I mean, I guess.
So Chocho's just eccentric.
Yeah, but I feel like Chocho would like burp and fart in front of Ada, whereas like Sumire just like petite and like innocent little girl.
Yeah, I guess. But
it's about being a girly girl, being like a ballerina, basically. The purity, innocence of the beauty, or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know, but
so I think that's why she's choosing them over Inojin. Not that she couldn't have a conversation with Inojin, but that if they did, they're gonna like talk past each other, because it's not like Inojin could talk about it in the same way Ada would want to talk about it, because it's not talking about love, it's talking about the girl side of the relationship in terms of a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship with a guy, because those are 2 different types of the relationship.
Well, okay. I do want to end with this. I agree. However,
roles. It's about the role.
Using the Viz's translation, Ada describes Mitsuki's love for Kawaki word for word the same way she feels about Kawaki, which implies it's the same on both ends.
True.
And second, nothing indicates Inojin had any feelings for Himawari before the time skip, so at the time, it's not like he'd be relevant anyway.
Yes, okay. They did have that conversation with Mitsuki, and Ada just did talk about it normally. That's fair. I don't think that completely negates everything I was saying, but like it's completely fair to bring up. But we are sort of out of time anyway, so maybe we could consider that and maybe talk about it next time. But
yeah, write it down as a podcast topic.
I will. Something I'll say is one last thing to end it off on. Again, I think this is different from the obsessive love from the Code arc compared to this current arc of the romance, because I think the love that Amado has for his daughter, or Code has for the Otsutsuki, or Kawaki had for Naruto in the Code arc was completely, obviously different from this arc.
Yeah.
And it's being presented in a different light. It's from the get-go.
It was presented as more father-child / worshipper, worshipee. I made up worshipee. I don't know if that's a word. Whereas this is specifically romantic.
I don't even think that's necessarily the case. I wouldn't describe it as father-child. I would consider it specific. I would describe it as obsessive, is how that was playing as.
Well,
that's the word I would have used.
I'm making the distinction without using the word obsessive because of Salads and Bolt's note implying that Ikimoto might be getting at obsessive love with Sarada and Boruto, even. The one of all the ones we thought wouldn't be described that way, so.
It's just coincidence. Ikimoto meant the darkness in Sarada's heart.
Yeah, I guess. Or he meant that she's mentally unstable. And I think if I
irrational character,
I'm going with that one.
Yeah, irrational character. I'm down for it. Irrational character. Let's go.
That's why her explanation of omnipotence to Shikamaru didn't work.
And Ikimoto fell.
All right. Bye.
Bye.